Hello students, welcome to online classes of Geography of class 12. This is your third class for chapter number 5, primary activities. Now the topics that I'm going to discuss under this category, this class or in today's class, that is plantation farming, areas of plantation farming, next it is mixed farming, dairy farming, then comes the Mediterranean agriculture and market gardening and horticulture. Now the first type of farming is the plantation farming. We'll discuss about the features, but before going to the features, let us discuss about what is plantation. Now plantation is actually a large scale specialized commercial farming. It is mentioned large scale specialized. That means it is practiced on a large stretch of land, and commercial means profit oriented. So they concentrate on cultivation of a single species, but it's not basically the food crops, it is the cash crops. And the large stretch of land where the cultivation is being practiced, those areas are termed as estates or plantation. And it is also named as factory farming. Now why it is named as factory farming? I'm giving an example of tea plantation. When a tea plant areas estates are there where the tea bushes are grown, and there the plucking of the tender leaves of the tree goes on. Simultaneously the plucked leaves are being dried out, it's being crushed, it's being processed, it's being packaged in the same plot of the land, that is estate. So they simultaneously do the work of, that is, agriculture and industry, and that is why it is termed as factory farming. Now, this plantation farming is basically introduced by the Europeans during the colonial period for their own motive, for their own purpose of earning profit, because these are cash crops. So obviously they are profit oriented. And here we are using the skill and the technical of the plantations. Even somewhere the capital of the Europeans are also being used. Now plantation farms are generally large and are known as estate, as already I have mentioned it. Now one more thing, as it is profit oriented, the migrated laborers are there to work on the plantations. Now why they employ migrated labor? Because if migrated laborers are to be engaged, then they can pay less wages for their work so that they can earn more profit. Another example from that same tea plantations, if we have seen the or if you are having that scope to visit the tea estates of our own state in the hills of Darjeeling, there you can see the tender leaves of the tea bushes have been plucked by the Nepali women folk. So why Nepali women folk are being employed over there for plucking of the tea tender leaves? So that they can be paid less wages for the purpose of profit motive. So migrated laborers are employed. Next it is, the main aim of plantation farming is to achieve high yields, large quality production along with large output, means large production. And what is the main aim? For export, so that they can earn more foreign exchange. Now the next features of the plantation farming is that is, scientific methods, machinery, fertilizers are skillfully used to achieve best result, as their motive is to earn profit. So obviously they will use the scientific methods. Now final products are carefully processed. I said near the, on the tea estates, they are crushed out, they are packaged, and from there it is being distributed throughout the country. So final products are carefully processed and standardized to meet the world demand and specification. And one more important feature is that where to get such a large stretch of area for the plantation. Neither it will be available from the settlement areas, neither it is possible to grab out the agricultural plot. So plantations or estates are developed after clearing out the forest. Now when the products is being packaged in that same estate, so we need to distribute the products throughout the areas, throughout the countries. So for this we need a well developed transportational and communicational system. So another important factor is the market should be well knitted up with the transportational and communicational system. So these are some of the features of plantation farming. Now let us see the areas of plantation farming. Now basically the plantations are being there in the entire world, and there are some uh, other country peoples, or the what we can say, the invaders, they continuously for their profit motive, they have planted out these cash crops to earn profit from that area. Now, the first example is cocoa and coffee plantation, which is there in West Africa, and it is being introduced by French people. Tea gardens in India and Sri Lanka, which is being introduced by the Britishers during the colonial period of our country. Rubber plantations in Malaysia, which has also been done by the Britishers. Sugarcane and banana plantation in West Indies, again it has been done by Britishers. Coconut and sugar plantations, which is there in Philippines and done by the Americans and the Spanish people. Sugarcane plantation in Indonesia is being introduced by the Dutch people. Next, coffee fazendas are there in Brazil, which is also introduced by the European people. So from here you can get the plantation. From here you can get the plantation type of crops, that is, which are the plantation species. One that is left out from here is the spices, which is there in our country as a cash crop, but it has not been mentioned over here. It is there in India, but it is basically also done by the Britishers, but it's not as prominent as like that of tea gardens. Now, next we'll proceed to the next type of farming, that is mixed farming. Now, from the name it is clear, when we use the word mixed, that means agriculture along with the cattle rearing, when it is being practiced on a same plot of land, that is termed as mixed farming. Now, where it is being practiced, it is practiced in highly developed areas. Now, when it is a highly developed areas, obviously we cannot get a huge stretch of land for the farming activity. So the farm size is moderate, and as they are highly developed, that means the farmers are quite skillful. So they know how to maintain the fertility of the soil, and they use the method of crop rotation and intercropping. Next, it is crop cultivation and animal husbandry goes on simultaneously, one after the other, and they use huge amount of capital. That means not only money, rather they also use lots of machineries to increase the production and to get the quality production. And they use chemical fertilizers, green manures to maintain the fertility and to get the best results from that moderate size of the farm. And all this is possible because here farmers are highly skilled. Next, what are the crops that they basically grow? Now, not only the food crops, they have to concentrate on the fodder crops also, because they have to do the work of cattle rearing. So the food crops that they grow are wheat, barley, oat, rye, maize, and along with the fodder crop, which is considered as an important component of this type of farming. Now, there are some areas where mixed farming is very much prominent in the entire world, specifically the northwestern Europe, northeastern America, the developed parts of Eurasia, and the temperate latitudes of southern continents. Basically, the temperate grassland areas can be included over here, is where the mixed farming is in practice. Now, the last line of the areas is not visible in the slide. So just listen to the video. That is, the temperate latitudes of the southern continents are also involved in this type of farming. Now, next we'll proceed to the dairy farming. Now, here dairy farming means there is no cultivation of the crops, rather there is entirely depending upon the rearing of the domesticated cattle. Now, when it is domestication of the cattle, that means the dairy products, which are basically perishable in nature, so their production is quite valuable, and where it is demanded more, where near the urban and the industrial centers, where they get the ready market, because here it is easily affordable and it is easily connected from the farming areas to these areas through the fastest means of transportation. Now, it is both labor and capital intensive. Now, why labor, because the at the time of milching the animals, it cannot be used, it cannot be done by any sort of machineries, rather it is done by the manual labor. And capital intensive means they need lots of scientific machineries, technologies for better results, for keeping it preserved, for producing good quality of the dairy products. So capital intensive farming and labor intensive farming is there for the dairy farming. Next, most advanced and efficient type of rearing of milch animals, the animals that produces milk. Next, special emphasis is laid on cattle breeding, healthcare and veterinary services. Why? Because it is entirely based upon the cattle. Transportation is one of the most important aspect of this type of farming, because highly perishable products which are highly valuable to be quickly transported from the areas to the from the producing areas to the market. So thus transportation is one of the important. Dairy products are perishable and nearness to the market is also an important factor. Labor intensive, when it is labor intensive at the time of feeding and milching, and when it is capital intensive, when we have to maintain the animal sheds, when it has to make the storage facilities, feeding and milching machines is needed, refrigeration and pasteurization is needed, at that time it is capital intensive. Now, basically, where dairy farming has been practiced, it is being practiced in the northwestern Europe, Canada, Southeast Australia, New Zealand, and Tasmania are the major regions of dairy farming. Now, if you can see that the entire year the farmers are engaged with this type of farming. Why is it possible? Because there is no cultivation of the crops and there is no sowing and the harvesting season. So what does this indicate? For this type of farming, there is no off season for the farmers. The year round there are some other works in this type of farming. Now next we will proceed to the next type of farming, that is Mediterranean agriculture of farming. Now it is very clear from the name that where this type of farming will prevail. It prevails near the areas which is located between the surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, that is in the southern Europe, northern Africa, parts of eastern Eurasia, where Mediterranean Sea, on the either side of the Mediterranean Sea, this type of agriculture prevails. Now, these are highly developed areas, so here the farming type is also specialized commercial farming. Now, the most important speciality or the important cultivation is of grapevine cultivation, and it is also named as viticulture. When grapevine cultivation, the cultivation is termed as viticulture, and this is the speciality. And due to this viticulture or grapevine cultivation, this is these are the areas which produces the best quality of the wines from here, and the low quality grapes are basically used as to produce raisins and the currants. When they are dried up, they are produced to make transform to raisins and the currants. Now these are high valuable crops and they are important suppliers of citrus fruits. So where they are practiced? They are practiced in southern Europe, as I mentioned, North Africa. It is also, Mediterranean climate is also there in southern California. It is there in central Chile too. Southwest part of South Africa is also there, and south and southwestern part of Australia, where Mediterranean climate prevails. This Mediterranean agriculture is in practice. So the type of agriculture that is practiced over there, it is viticulture, because it is specialized with grape cultivation. Now the next type of farming is market gardening and horticulture. Now market gardening and horticulture, from the name it is clear that the gardening means the cultivation is mainly there for the market, not for the self consumption. And horticulture means cultivation of vegetables. Cultivation of vegetables. So that is horticulture. Now, it is practiced in densely populated industrial areas. That means the industrial zone, which is densely populated, where the demand for the vegetables and the fruits is large, there it is practiced. It is also a high value crops because these are quick perishable crops. Now, as it is practiced in densely populated industrial sites, so the farm size are small. Now, good transportation linked with the urban areas, these are the developed, so there is a good connectivity of the transportation. It is also both labor and capital intensive farming. Now, where the specification of growing vegetables is there, then the farming is, or there the farming is also known as truck farming. Why? Because the areas where they are growing the vegetables from the areas of cultivation to the areas of supply, that is the market area, the medium that transport that helps to do the that is the moving of the vegetables from that areas of production to the areas of distribution is done with the help of the truck. That is why it is also termed as truck farming. Now, where the flowers are grown, that area is that cultivation is termed as floriculture. So these are some of the type of cultivation, and side by side livestock is also reared, particularly poultry and cattle rearing, along with the cultivation of the vegetables, cultivation of the flowers. The livestock rearing is also in practice. So these are practiced in which areas? It's already been mentioned. Industrial districts, so northwestern Europe, northeastern USA, Mediterranean regions are basically famous for market gardening and horticulture, which are the world's largest industrial centers. So these are some of the features related to the type of farming that is practiced throughout the world. Now, all these types of farming or the agricultural types is basically classified on the methods that they have employed for the cultivation. What type of method they have employed, whether it is labor intensive, capital intensive, or it is basically for the growing of food crops or growing of fodder crops, or it is a mixed variety, or it's only production of the dairy products. So it is on the basis of the methods and the producers that they are there to produce at the time of cultivation. On that basis, these farming types are being classified. So today I have completed one one type of the agricultural farming, and the next class will proceed with the another type of agricultural farming. If you are having any doubts, just mention it in the comment section. And one request, just note down all the features in your copy. Keep your copy up to date with the work regularly. And any questions, please mention it. Once again, I'm saying it, mention it in the comment section. And I'm continuously doing the rectification, evaluating your work that you have already submitted. I'll just open the link once again for the submission of the worksheet after completing this chapter with the exercise and the board questions. And thank you for following today's class. Have a nice day.